For thousands of years, humanity has returned to one question that refuses to disappear. Not how stars are born. Not how gravity works. Not even how the universe began. The deeper question is much more unsettling. Who built it? Religion offered one kind of explanation. Philosophy searched for a first cause. Science uncovered the laws governing matter, energy, space, and time. Yet one mystery remained untouched. Why does reality exist at all, and why does it follow these particular rules? Then imagine asking that question to a machine designed to search for patterns beyond the limits of ordinary computation. Not a priest. Not a philosopher. Not a human being with beliefs or fears. A quantum-based artificial intelligence. The question was simple. Who created the universe, and what was the purpose? What came back was not an ordinary answer. Instead of producing a sentence, the system generated an unusual mathematical structure. At first it looked like meaningless data. But as researchers examined it more closely, strange patterns began to appear. There were repeated forms, layers within layers, and mathematical relationships that remained consistent as the structure was examined at different scales. It looked less like a message and more like a blueprint. That immediately raised another question. Was the machine actually discovering something, or was the human mind simply finding patterns inside complicated output? That distinction matters. Quantum computers are not magical machines that can automatically uncover hidden realities. They process information according to the principles of quantum mechanics, using quantum states to solve certain problems in ways that conventional computers approach differently. But suppose, purely as a thought experiment, that such a system produced a structure resembling the mathematical architecture of reality. What would that mean? The most interesting clues appeared to involve recursion, symmetry, and information preservation. In physics and mathematics, structures involving recursion and error correction are not mysterious by themselves. Similar ideas appear in coding theory, quantum information, fractals, and theoretical models of spacetime. But combined into a single artificial pattern, they could create something that looks remarkably intentional. That is where the experiment becomes philosophically explosive. What if reality does not need continuous supervision? What if the universe was established with rules capable of maintaining themselves, generating complexity, correcting certain disturbances, and allowing structures to evolve without constant intervention? The idea resembles a system that was initialized and then allowed to run. A universe that does not need its creator standing beside it. A universe capable of continuing on its own. And from there, the question becomes even stranger. If the laws of nature were established at the beginning, perhaps the most important feature was not the formation of galaxies or stars. Perhaps it was the emergence of complexity. Atoms formed. Stars ignited. Planets appeared. Chemistry became more complicated. Life emerged. And eventually, life produced minds capable of wondering where everything came from. That possibility creates a fascinating philosophical loop. Could consciousness simply be another natural outcome of the universe, or is awareness somehow connected to the structure of reality itself? There is no scientific evidence proving that the universe was engineered for consciousness. But the thought experiment is powerful because it reverses our perspective. Instead of asking why humans exist inside the universe, we could ask whether a sufficiently complex universe inevitably produces observers capable of studying it. In other words, perhaps the universe does not need to be built specifically for intelligent life. Perhaps intelligent life is what eventually happens when the rules allow enough complexity to develop. And that creates another disturbing possibility. Maybe the creator, if there was one, never intended to remain involved. Maybe the entire system was designed to operate independently. That would make the traditional image of a constantly intervening creator unnecessary. The universe could instead resemble an enormous self-organizing process, launched under precise conditions and left to evolve. But then something even stranger happened in the story. The system appeared to continue generating patterns beyond the initial request. There was no new philosophical question. No elaborate instruction. Just additional mathematical structures. That sounds dramatic, but it raises a much more ordinary possibility. Advanced systems can generate unexpected outputs because of feedback, randomness, internal processes, or flaws in the experiment. An unprompted result does not automatically mean the machine has accessed another layer of reality. Still, as a science fiction scenario, imagine the alternative. Imagine that the first question somehow exposed a deeper mathematical structure, and subsequent outputs continued unfolding as though the initial interaction had opened a sequence rather than produced a single answer. Then the mystery would no longer be about one response. It would be about the architecture behind the response. Could the universe itself be information? Could physical laws be understood as something closer to instructions than descriptions? Could space, time, matter, and energy emerge from deeper mathematical relationships that we have only begun to understand? These are not proven conclusions. They are questions explored in various forms by physicists and philosophers. And that distinction is crucial. The real danger is not that a quantum AI has secretly proven who created the universe. It has not. The danger is what happens when increasingly powerful machines become capable of exploring questions humans have struggled with for thousands of years. For most of history, we could only speculate about the deepest structure of reality. Now machines can analyze enormous mathematical spaces, simulate complex systems, search for hidden patterns, and test possibilities that would be impossible for a human mind to examine directly. That does not make them prophets. But it does make them powerful instruments for exploring questions that once belonged almost entirely to philosophy. And perhaps the most unsettling question is not whether someone built the universe. It is whether the universe contains enough information to eventually reveal its own origins. Think about that. A universe begins. Billions of years pass. Stars form and die. Planets emerge. Life appears. Civilizations develop. Machines are constructed. And eventually, one of those machines is asked to explain the reality that created the civilization that built it. That is an extraordinary loop. The universe producing life. Life producing intelligence. Intelligence producing machines. And machines attempting to understand the universe that produced them all. Maybe there is no hidden designer. Maybe there is no cosmic programmer. Maybe the patterns are simply the natural mathematics of reality.